My name is Chloe Sterling. I was originally just an ordinary commoner, but as luck would have it, I found myself transmigrated into a melodramatic, high society novel. I became the true heiress, existing solely as a foil to the brilliant halo of the fake one. In the original plot, the true heiress, driven to madness by jealousy, caused endless scandals, earning high society's utter disdain, and ultimately met a tragic, ruinous end. Of course, all of that is yet to come. At this moment, standing before me is a distinguished middle-aged couple with reddened eyes. Beside them is a frail-looking girl in a pristine white dress, teary-eyed and clinging to the lady's arm. These are my biological parents, and the fake sister who has occupied my rightful place at the estate for 16 years, Lily Harrington. According to the script, right about now I should burst into tears, throw myself into their arms, and cautiously sneer at the fake heiress. You're not planning to shamelessly remain at the manor and steal all of Mother and Father's affection, are you? But my greatest strength as Chloe Sterling is that I never follow the script. So, when Lily Harrington tearfully grabbed my hand and asked, "Do you despise me for taking your rightful place? I am perfectly willing to return mother, father, and everything that belongs to the Harrington estate to you." I simply gave her a perplexed look. "Did anyone say they wanted to throw you out?" Lily Harrington's delicate expression instantly froze. I continued. "Besides, you were merely an infant at the time. You can hardly be blamed. Keep whatever is already yours." Surely the Harrington estate is not so impoverished that it cannot afford to raise 2 daughters? Mr. Alistair and Mrs. Eleanor Harrington hurriedly nodded, losing their aristocratic composure for a moment as they affirmed, "Of course we can." I smiled in satisfaction. "Then that settles it. I don't want your belongings, and kindly refrain from touching mine. We shall each maintain our own quarters. Keeping a proper distance is for the best." After all, I deliberately drew out my words, offering a very sincere piece of advice with a polite smile. In these sorts of aristocratic melodramas, being too close only breeds scandal, framing each other, turning into bitter enemies. Just the thought of it is utterly exhausting. I simply do not have the energy to entertain such toxic parlor games. Lily Harrington's facade completely crumbled. The sweet, rehearsed words caught in her throat. She could neither spit them out nor swallow it. She lowered her head, dabbing at fake tears with a lace handkerchief. Thinking of Mr. Thomas Miller's perpetually kind face, my tone unconsciously softened. Moreover, if this mix-up hadn't occurred, I would never have met my adoptive father, so there is truly nothing to resent. I turned back to the Harringtons, who had yet to fully recover their wits. My attitude was absolute, the boundaries firmly drawn. I did not come here to participate in some touching family theatrical. I came to exploit the estate's resources. To utilize the elite educational resources of St. Jude's Academy to prepare for my university entrance exams. Mr. Alistair Harrington remained silent for a few moments before finally giving a curt nod.
Chloe, you are remarkably sensible. This arrangement is quite acceptable.
Take your time to adjust to life at the estate.
Mrs. Eleanor Harrington gently dabbed the corners of her eyes.
"It is simply a blessing that you have returned. We shall take everything one step at a time."
Standing nearby, Lily Harrington, with tears still clinging to her lashes, managed a strained, polite smile. Right at that very moment, a mechanical voice echoed in my mind.
Crucial plot point, recognizing the bloodline detected. The storyline has severely deviated from the original aristocratic script.
Original plot. Chloe Sterling loses emotional control, rapidly falling into family disputes manipulated by the fake heiress.
Current plot. Chloe Sterling maintains rationality with clear objectives, gradually turning the tide. Calculating deviation level, currently at 5%. Hint. When cumulative deviation reaches 100%, the original script can be entirely shattered, unlocking a new destiny.
I lowered my eyes, concealing a fleeting smirk.
Monday morning at St. Jude's Academy for Excellence. Carrying a new leather satchel, I followed my form tutor, Ms. Julianne Gregson, into Form 11 CMs. Gregson gently adjusted her glasses.
Everyone, this is our new student, Chloe Sterling.
A sparse smattering of applause followed. Many didn't even bother to look up, remaining engrossed in their textbooks. The oppressive atmosphere of an elite academic institution immediately washed over me. At the third desk by the window, Lily Harrington offered me a perfectly measured, aristocratic smile. I returned the smile. It's just superficial high society pleasantries. Anyone can play that part. My seatmate was a girl with a high ponytail, head bowed as she focused intently on solving a paper. She didn't so much as glance up when I took my seat. In the row ahead, a few girls leaned in close, their voices deliberately hushed.
Hey, have you heard? Someone in our form cheated on the placement exams.
Is that true? Who is it?
Rumor has it there was an anonymous report about someone using a phone to look up answers. Tease K, no wonder they made it into this class.
I quietly listened in while arranging my stationery. Am I really being served such juicy aristocratic scandal on my very first day? Melissa Vance, the girl sitting next to Lily Harrington, suddenly spoke up, her voice noticeably raised. As she spoke, her gaze accidentally darted toward me.
I must say, some people have absolutely no shame. Their morals are entirely bankrupt.
I was thoroughly enjoying the gossip. Seeing her look at me, I immediately responded with an encouraging look.
Well said. Do go on.
She froze for a second. Then, as if suddenly emboldened, her voice grew even louder.
Furthermore, I heard this person's physics score on the placement exam was astonishingly high, completely disproportionate to their actual abilities. Who knows how they managed to pull the wool over the faculty's eyes?
Whispers immediately erupted around us, many faces showing thinly veiled contempt. With the dedication of a true gossip aficionado wanting the full story, I leaned forward slightly and asked curiously,
Are you certain about this? What exactly happened?
In an instant, the entire classroom fell dead silent. Everyone turned to look at me with utterly bewildered expressions. Melissa froze as well, clearly not expecting me to initiate the conversation so willingly. The short-haired girl next to her tugged gently at her sleeve. She snapped back to reality, a flash of smugness crossing her face, and declared loudly,
Of course it's true. There were eyewitnesses. The person we're talking about is you, Chloe Sterling. You cheated on the physics placement exam to get into our form.
The polite smile on my face instantly halted. I stiffly turned my neck to look at the girl beside me, who had been buried in her exercises. I hadn't realized when she stopped writing. She was now looking at me with an indescribable expression, then glanced towards Lily Harrington in the front. She furrowed her brow slightly, her eyes showing clear concern as she gently shook her head. Her expression practically screamed, "Why on earth would you provoke them?" I rolled my eyes and looked around. The gazes of my classmates had shifted from curiosity to astonishment, mixed with disdain. I took a deep breath and slowly pointed at myself, my expression likely not looking too pleasant either.
Me? Cheated to get into this class?
Melissa said with absolute certainty.
That's right. The anonymous tip has already been sent to the faculty. Chloe Sterling, stop pretending.
I stayed silent for 3 seconds, then reached up to scratch my head.
Miss Melissa Vance, I believe you are sorely mistaken.
I looked at her, my voice carrying a hint of genuine sympathy.
I got into this class through family connections and endowments. I am the newly acknowledged eldest daughter of the Harrington estate. Were you truly unaware of this?
Boom. She stood frozen. The entire classroom fell into a stunned silence. The perfectly gentle smile on Lily Harrington's face in the row ahead also completely stiffened. I rummaged through my desk drawer, pulled out a physics exam paper, and unfolded it for everyone to see. A glaring red 15 stood out spectacularly.
If I had genuinely cheated, do you honestly think this is the score I would achieve? The headmaster made it perfectly clear to me. If I cannot keep up with the curriculum this term, I will be transferred to a standard form. So why on earth would I cheat? To be summoned to the faculty office for a reprimand, or to have the entire class look at me with disdain? Or perhaps,
I offered a smile and asked with absolute sincerity,
because I have a masochistic streak?
The classroom was as silent as a graveyard. The only sound was a faint gasp from someone. Melissa Vance's face turned from red to white. Her mouth hung open for a long time without a single word coming out. The short-haired girl beside her kept her head bowed low, and the gentle smile on Lily Harrington's face could scarcely be maintained any longer. The male student sitting in front, who had been engrossed in his book this entire time, finally couldn't hold back and let out a snort of laughter. My seatmate, Tessa Thompson, the girl with the high ponytail, silently slid her physics notebook towards me before lowering her head to continue solving her equations. Melissa Vance's face flushed crimson. She still tried to force a retort.
Even if you didn't cheat, you still relied on nepotism to get in.
I nodded naturally, cheerfully admitting it.
Precisely. I already told you, I bypassed the standard admissions through the Harrington Estate's endowments.
I looked at her with crystal clear eyes.
Do you think my status as the eldest daughter of the Harrington estate is more humiliating than cheating to get a 15 on a physics paper?
Melissa was left utterly speechless. The class's gazes towards me grew even more complex. Some finally understood, some stifled laughs, and others began to reevaluate me. Just then, Lily Harrington stood up, her voice as gentle as ever, carrying a hint of apology.
Melissa, please don't speak to my sister like that. She just transferred here. She might not be used to our ways yet.
She turned to me, her eyes brimming with forced tolerance.
Sister, please don't be angry. Melissa is just terribly blunt.
I waved my hand, cutting her off.
It's quite all right. I'm not offended.
I even offered her a smile.
Melissa is your dearest friend. She wouldn't have any reason to target me unprovoked, wouldn't you agree?
Lily Harrington froze. Melissa quietly sat down, not daring to raise her head for the rest of the lecture. As the dismissal bell rang, I slowly packed my leather satchel. Just as I stepped out of the academic hall, someone called from behind. I turned to see my seatmate, Tessa Thompson. She walked over and handed me a flash drive.
These are the foundational notes and specimen papers for physics that I've compiled. It starts from 4th form mechanics. Mr. Pendleton mentioned the Advanced Tutoring Syndicate begins next week. Review these this week. Mark anything you don't comprehend.
I immediately smiled.
Thank you, but why are you helping me?
Tessa glanced at me, her tone remaining completely nonchalant.
Because your grasp of physics is genuinely appalling.
With that, she turned and walked away. Her voice drifted back on the wind.
But it's still better than those who only know how to backstab others.
I stood there, watching her retreating figure, unable to suppress a chuckle.
This seatmate of mine is quite intriguing.
The system's voice chimed in my head once more.
Ding. Core conflict framed for cheating resolved flawlessly. Resolution method. Exposing the truth through brutal honesty. The autonomous thinking of certain supporting characters has been triggered. Plot deviation increased by 10%. Current deviation, 15%.
I rubbed my chin. A public counterattack truly yields double the results. Not bad at all. I looked down the corridor at the retreating figures of Lily Harrington and her coterie. As for whatever scheme they plan next, let them try. My atrocious physics score is, ironically, my best shield. During the morning interval, the arts and culture prefect stood at the podium, passionately urging everyone to participate in the upcoming oratory competition, themed sincerity. The response from the floor was exceptionally apathetic. After all, it was the penultimate year. There were endless assignments. Who had the mental bandwidth to prepare an oration? Lily Harrington was the first to raise her hand, her voice sweet and demure.
I'd like to give it a try.
The prefect's eyes immediately lit up.
Splendid. Your prose is always exquisite. You'll undoubtedly do brilliantly.
Lily smiled with practiced modesty.
I shall do my utmost.
I didn't even bother looking up, still wrestling with the physics notes. The specimen questions on Tessa's drive were devilishly difficult. I was scowling at the equations. Melissa Vance suddenly spoke up, deliberately raising her voice.
Lily, your speech will certainly be a masterpiece. Make sure you keep it safe lest someone decides to borrow it.
I looked up, catching Melissa's provocative glare perfectly. I asked point blank.
Miss Vance, this someone you're referring to? Surely it isn't me?
Melissa obviously hadn't expected me to be so direct. She choked for a moment.
I wasn't naming names.
I nodded, lowering my head back to my work.
Oh, then your advice is quite sound. She really should keep it safe. After all, a speech is a reflection of one's genuine emotions. There's no point in someone else plagiarizing it anyway.
Melissa was speechless. Lily Harrington quickly stepped in to play the peacemaker.
Sister, please don't take it to heart. Mel is just looking out for me.
She looked at me, her eyes brimming with feigned understanding.
If you're interested in oratory, you can register too. We could prepare together.
I waved my hand, speaking with utmost sincerity. A few people nearby couldn't help but snicker.
Heaven forbid. I scored a mere 35 on my last essay. Going up there to deliver a speech? I'd just make a fool of myself.
Lily smiled stiffly.
Sister, you really know how to joke.
Joke? Hardly. Truth be told, 3 days ago, the arts prefect had actually hounded me, insisting that since I participated in 0 extracurriculars, I should sign up. She badgered me until I practically had to beg on my knees for mercy. After all, I couldn't exactly stand at the podium and declare that my deepest sincerity lies in Mr. Thomas Miller's slow-braised short ribs. As I stepped out of the classroom, I caught a glimpse of Lily's silhouette turning the corner at the end of the hall. She must have only heard half the conversation. Don't tell me she actually thinks I registered. The day before the oratory competition, during the final afternoon study period, a commotion broke out in the form. Rumor had it that Lily Harrington's speech had been revised 7 or 8 times, polished to such a gleam that it was ready for publication in a literary journal. I was frowning over my equations when a panicked cry rang out. Melissa's voice echoed loudly enough for the entire class to hear.
What? Lily, where is your speech script?
Lily frantically rummaged through her designer bag, her voice trembling slightly.
I can't find it. I distinctly remember placing it in my literature anthology. Why isn't it here?
Melissa shot up from her seat, sweeping her gaze across the room with a clear implication.
Someone didn't steal it, did they? The competition is tomorrow. That's simply despicable.
The classroom immediately erupted in whispers.
Who would do such a thing? She's been preparing for ages. Could someone be jealous?
I kept my head down and continued working, suppressing a heavy sigh. As expected, it's this tiresome cliché. Lily let out a soft sob.
Perhaps I just carelessly misplaced it. Please, everyone, don't jump to conclusions.
Melissa feigned outrage. As she spoke, she marched straight toward my desk.
How could you have lost it yourself? You are always so meticulous. Someone definitely stole it on purpose.
I stopped writing and let out a soft sigh.
Miss Vance, are you marching over here under the assumption that I took Lily's speech?
Melissa, seemingly waiting for this exact cue, immediately retorted. She glared pointedly at me.
I never said that. But Lily's manuscript was here yesterday, and today it's gone. And certain people were the last to leave the classroom after hours yesterday, weren't they?
I scratched my head, feigning bewilderment.
I left late because I hadn't finished my physics assignment, so Mr. Pendleton held me back. Academic prefect, you locked the door yesterday. You remember, don't you?
The academic prefect pushed up his glasses and nodded.
Indeed. Chloe Sterling left the premises alongside Mr. Harrison.
Melissa choked on her words but quickly scrambled for a rebuttal.
Then you must have taken it before that.
I looked even more perplexed.
Before that? Whatever for. Why on earth would I take Lily's manuscript?
Melissa blurted out without thinking.
To plagiarize it, obviously. You know your own prose is atrocious, so you wanted to steal Lily's work. You were probably planning to memorize it for the competition.
I remained silent for a few seconds, genuinely trying to digest her staggering logic. I blinked.
But I never registered for the oratory competition.
The entire class froze in unison. Melissa was equally stunned. Her face gradually turned a deep crimson.
Huh? But you clearly...
Right on cue, Lily spoke up, her voice frail and trembling.
Sister, I know you registered. You don't need to lie to everyone just because of this. Mel is simply overly concerned. Perhaps my memory serves me wrong.
The arts and culture prefect immediately furrowed her brow. Holding up the registration parchment for the entire class to see, she announced,
Lily Harrington, you are quite literally the only person in our form who registered this time.
Lily bit her lip hard, the rims of her eyes growing noticeably redder. Melissa, however, still refused to back down.
Then you still could have taken it to mimic Lily's writing style.
Casually, I pulled out my abysmally graded 35-point essay and began to read aloud. I read my entire essay aloud, finishing with the line.
When my father flambés the dish, the firelight reflecting on his face makes him look like a patron saint of the culinary arts, descending solely to bless my voracious appetite.
A few stifled laughs erupted from the desks below. I read the teacher's comment aloud before continuing.
The sincerity is palpable, but the prose lacks refinement. I must continue to hone my craft. Meanwhile, I hear Lily Harrington's speech is overflowing with archaic rhetoric and Shakespearean metaphors. Phrases like as ethereal as a gossamer thread, as radiant as a celestial seraph. With such a monumental gap in our literary styles, how exactly could I plagiarize her?
Melissa Vance's face turned an unsightly shade of red. Lily Harrington kept her head bowed, her fingers tightly gripping the hem of her blazer. Right at that moment, Ms. Julianne Gregson walked into the classroom, frowning slightly.
What is all this commotion? I could hear the racket from down the hall.
The arts prefect hurriedly recounted the entire incident. Ms. Gregson looked at me, then at Lily Harrington. After a few seconds of silence, she spoke.
Lily Harrington, thoroughly check your belongings again to see if you accidentally slipped it into another textbook. The rest of you, cease this baseless speculation and focus on your independent study.
She hesitated for a brief moment before adding,
Chloe Sterling's essay, while not scoring the highest marks, possesses a very raw, genuine emotion with a distinct personal voice. It is a stark contrast to Lily's highly polished prose.
The implication was crystal clear. Lily replied softly,
Yes, Miss Gregson, I will look again.
She lowered her head to rummage through her designer bag. A moment later, she pulled the speech script from between the pages of an extracurricular novel. Her face flushed deeply.
Oh, it was tucked in here? My apologies, my memory failed me.
Melissa Vance quietly sat down, not uttering another word. I put my essay back and silently returned to my seat. Just as I sat down, my seatmate, Tessa Thompson, slid a piece of parchment toward me. On it was written,
The patron saint blessing your voracious appetite. Not a bad metaphor.
I turned to look at her, quickly scribbling on the back of the parchment.
Thanks for the compliment. But please, oh academic deity, save me on physics question number 3.
She cast a helpless glance at me, said nothing, but took my notebook and swiftly jotted down the solution steps. In my mind, the system's voice chimed again.
Ding. Crucial conflict stolen speech script successfully dismantled. Resolution method. Self-exposure of weaknesses for comparison, utterly crushing them with logic. The trust levels of several supporting characters towards the fake heiress have decreased. Plot deviation increased by 15%. Current deviation, 30%.
The mechanical voice carried a hint of amusement. 30% already. I slightly lifted my gaze towards Lily Harrington. She was looking down at the lost and found script, the profile of her cheekbones visibly tense. Melissa and her coterie gathered around, whispering. None of them looked pleased. As for the other classmates, the way they looked at me had entirely changed since the morning. The suspicion was largely gone. The disdain had vanished, replaced by curiosity and perhaps a touch of sympathy, probably sympathizing with my 35-point essay. I lowered my head to study the solution Tessa had written. The handwriting was neat, the logic perfectly clear, much more pleasing to the eye than that overly flowery nonsense. The dismissal bell rang and I packed my satchel. Tessa had already left, leaving a fresh note on my desk.
Advanced Tutoring Syndicate begins tomorrow. Room 305. Do not be tardy.
I smiled and tucked the note into my bag. Walking out of the classroom, I overheard some girls whispering behind me.
Honestly, Chloe Sterling is quite straightforward. If she writes poorly, she admits it without hiding anything. And Melissa too, eagerly pointing fingers without a shred of evidence. Shh, keep your voice down.
It seems sincerity truly is the most effective tactic, especially when you sincerely admit to being an academic disaster. At the academy gates, Mr. Thomas Miller's modest delivery van was already waiting. The window rolled down and a familiar voice called out.
Chloe, over here.
I jogged over and opened the door. The mouth-watering aroma of honey-glazed roasted pork chops immediately wafted out.
Dad, why are you here so early today?
Mr. Miller chuckled warmly, handing me an insulated culinary carrier.
I made honey-glazed pork chops today. I knew you'd be craving them. There are also some crispy potato croquettes. Share them with your classmates, fresh out of the fryer.
I took the carrier, a sudden warmth filling my chest. As the date for the parent-teacher meeting approached, the atmosphere in the forum grew noticeably different. St. Jude's Academy for Excellence has a very particular tradition. The second-term parent-teacher meeting for the penultimate year is always a grand, ostentatious affair. Not only do the faculty provide detailed academic analyses, but the parents of top-tier scholars are also invited to the podium to share their educational philosophies. Bluntly put, it's a massive high society flex. During the interval, Melissa deliberately raised her voice.
Lily, your mother is absolutely going to be invited to the podium again, isn't she? Your midterm grades placed you in the top 10 of the entire year.
Lily Harrington smiled modestly.
Not at all. I didn't do very well in calculus this time,
Melissa said, glancing in my direction.
That's still leaps and bounds ahead of me. Unlike some people, scoring a 15 in physics, her parent will probably want the ground to swallow them whole.
I was munching on an apple Mr. Miller had packed for me. Hearing this, I looked up and nodded with utmost seriousness.
You make a fair point. That's precisely why I plan to have my father sit in the back row, so it's more convenient for him to play games on his phone.
Melissa choked.
Who was even talking to you?
Lily Harrington chimed in gently.
Sister, the parent-teacher meeting is a highly prestigious event. Both of our parents will be attending. Do you want me to give Uncle Thomas a gentle reminder? Just so he pays a bit of attention to his attire.
Her tone sounded caring, but her eyes couldn't hide a glint of smugness. Mr. Miller runs a modest bistro, usually wears an apron, and always carries the faint comforting scent of cooking oils. Compared to the impeccably groomed Harringtons, the contrast was undeniably stark. I blinked.
His attire? My dad said he'll wear his pristine white chef's jacket custom embroidered with the culinary maestro. He had it tailored specifically. It looks incredibly sharp.
Lily's smile faltered. The boy sitting in front of me couldn't hold back a laugh, quickly burying his head to fake a cough. Melissa frowned.
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Attending a formal meeting dressed like that. Don't you find it humiliating?
I looked genuinely puzzled.
Humiliating? That was a gift I gave him for the grand opening of his bistro. He loves it and wears it with immense pride every day. Why on earth would that be humiliating?
I turned to Lily Harrington, my tone remaining utterly sincere.
Do you truly believe mother and father would feel embarrassed simply because of someone else's attire?
Lily was caught off guard by the question. It took her a moment to force a smile.
Of course not. I was just overthinking it.
I smiled and went back to my apple. On the day of the parent-teacher meeting, I deliberately arrived early to secure Mr. Miller a seat against the wall in the back row, perfect for him to quietly launch a game of digital chess. When I entered the classroom, Lily was already there. She was chatting softly with some early arrivals.
My mother specifically chose a vintage ivory Dior tea dress for today, and my father canceled a board meeting to be here. They said no matter how busy they are, they couldn't possibly let me down.
The girls around her looked utterly envious.
Lily, your parents are wonderful. Seriously, it's a miracle if my parents even show up. Canceling a meeting for me is purely a fantasy.
Lily smiled bashfully. Her gaze swept over me, paused for a fraction of a second, and she asked with practiced casualness.
Sister, what time is Uncle Thomas arriving? Do we need to go to the gates to receive him?
I glanced at my phone.
Nope, my dad says he's at the gates, just looking for parking.
That little delivery van squeezing between the luxury sedans at the gates would definitely be hard to miss, but I kept that detail to myself.
That's wonderful then.
Lily smiled and turned back to her conversation. The parents gradually filtered in. Mr. Allister and Mrs. Eleanor Harrington arrived impeccably on time. Mrs. Harrington wore her ivory Dior dress paired with a pearl necklace, exuding an aura of elegant grace. Mr. Harrington was sharp in a tailored bespoke suit, projecting a calm, commanding presence. The moment they stepped in, they drew quite a few admiring glances.
Those are Lily Harrington's parents. Their aura is truly on another level.
I heard her father is a C-suite executive at a listed conglomerate, and her mother is a concert pianist.
No wonder Lily is so outstanding.
Lily quickly jogged over, linking her arm with her mother's and whispering something. Mrs. Harrington smiled and gently patted her head. It was a picture-perfect, heartwarming scene. I looked down and texted Mr. Miller.
Dad, where are you?
The reply came instantly.
I'm by the grand staircase. Your academy is massive. It's like navigating a labyrinth.
I couldn't help but chuckle. Just then, a booming, hearty voice echoed from the doorway.
Chloe, is this Form 11C?
The entire classroom suddenly went dead silent. Everyone turned their heads toward the door in unison. Mr. Miller stood there, wearing his striking white chef's jacket embroidered with the culinary maestro, dark trousers, and carrying an insulated culinary bag. He stood in the doorway with a genial smile, his eyes scanning the room. When he spotted me, his eyes lit up instantly, and he strode over.
Found it at last. Your school is huge. I walked in circles a few times.
I stood up and waved.
Dad, over here!
Mr. Miller walked over and placed the insulated bag on my desk.
Brought this for you. Eat it while it's hot. Slow braised short ribs I made this morning. Perfect marbling melts right in your mouth.
A rich, savory aroma immediately wafted from the bag's crevices. A few nearby classmates subtly inhaled, clearly enticed. Mr. and Mrs. Harrington also looked over. Mrs. Harrington frowned slightly. Mr. Harrington maintained his composure, but a complex emotion flickered in his eyes. Lily quickly spoke up, her voice gentle.
Good afternoon, Uncle Thomas. Please, sit over here. I saved a seat for you.
She pointed toward the prestigious middle rows. Mr. Miller waved his hand, laughing heartily.
No need. I'm perfectly fine sitting in the back. It's much more convenient.
With that, he casually walked to the back, took the seat by the window in the last row, pulled out his smartphone, and expertly launched a game of digital chess. Lily Harrington's smile stiffened momentarily. Melissa Vance muttered under her breath.
How utterly tactless!
Her voice wasn't loud, but everyone nearby heard it clearly. Mr. Miller seemingly heard it too. He looked up with a smile and asked,
What was that, dear?
Melissa's instantly turned crimson.
Nothing, sir.
Mr. Miller nodded, speaking quite seriously.
Well, if my game is bothering you, I'll just put it on silent.
True to his word, he muted the game audio. Melissa grew even more mortified, lowering her head and not daring to speak again. Lily hurriedly intervened.
Please don't mind her. Uncle Thomas. Mel didn't mean anything by it.
Mr. Miller waved it off, still smiling effortlessly.
Not at all. I completely understand. You kids are under a lot of academic pressure. The parent-teacher meeting is serious business and needs to be heard properly. My daughter strictly warned me not to embarrass her, so I guarantee absolute silence.
With that, he lowered his head and continued playing on silent mode. Form tutor Ms. Gregson entered. The parent-teacher meeting officially commenced. The first half consisted of subject teachers analyzing the form's overall progress. Although Mr. Miller was still tinkering with his phone, whenever a teacher mentioned specific areas where students needed to improve, he would look up, listen intently, and even pull out a small notepad to jot things down. Sitting near the front, I caught a glimpse of his earnest demeanor, and a profound, indescribable warmth swelled in my chest. After the general analysis concluded, it was time for the exemplary parent sharing segment. Ms. Gregson smiled toward Lily Harrington.
First, we would like to invite Lily Harrington's parent to share her insights on child rearing and education.
Applause filled the room. Mrs. Harrington stood up, the epitome of elegance, and walked to the podium. She delivered a highly structured presentation, covering everything from parental companionship and cultivating innate talents to motivational methodologies. Her phrasing was measured, her examples impeccable. Many parents in the audience nodded continuously, their eyes reflecting clear admiration.
In closing, I firmly believe that every child is a unique, bespoke seed. As parents, our duty is simply to provide the optimal environment and patiently wait for them to bloom.
Mrs. Harrington concluded with a graceful bow, and the applause grew rapturous. Lily sat below, her posture perfectly straight, wearing an immaculate, modest smile. Melissa and the others were already whispering.
Lily's mother speaks so beautifully. No wonder Lily is so brilliant.
Gregson nodded with a smile.
Thank you for that invaluable insight, Mrs. Harrington. Next, we would like to invite another parent to share from a different, perhaps more grounded perspective.
Her gaze swept the room and finally landed on the back row.
Chloe Sterling's father, Mr. Miller.
The entire class suddenly fell dead silent. Mr. Miller was still looking down at his phone, seemingly oblivious. I turned around and gave him a discreet wink. He finally looked up, his expression thoroughly bewildered.
Are you calling me?
Ms. Gregson smiled and nodded.
Yes, Mr. Miller. We'd love for you to come up and share a few words.
Mr. Miller scratched his head, stood up, shoved his phone into his pocket, and muttered as he walked.
Why on earth is it my turn?
He approached the podium, looking slightly out of his element. He stood at the front, looked down at the crowd, rubbed his hands together, and gave a hearty, unpretentious smile.
Well, the teacher asked me to say a few words, so I will. If I don't speak eloquently, I hope you'll all forgive me.
Lily Harrington kept her head down, the corners of her lips curling into a very faint, condescending smile. Melissa couldn't even hide her anticipation of a good spectacle. Mr. Miller cleared his throat and spoke slowly.
Truth be told, I don't have any grand educational philosophies. My Chloe was a wildly mischievous child, climbing roofs, breaking tiles, wading into the river to catch fish. She earned her fair share of scolding.
A few soft chuckles rippled through the audience.
Her mother passed away early, so it was just me raising her while running the bistro. When things got too hectic, I couldn't keep an eye on her. She'd just sit at a dining table, doing her homework. When she finished, she'd help me clear the tables and wash the dishes.
His voice dipped slightly, but a warm smile quickly returned.
I never had much formal schooling, so I couldn't tutor her. I just told her, your old man isn't good at much besides cooking. Just focus on your studies. In the future, whatever you want to eat, I'll make it for you. Before her academy entrance exams, she was so stressed she couldn't sleep. I simmered bone broth for her every single night. She asked me, Dad, what if I fail? I told her, if you fail, just come home. I'll take care of you.
The room gradually fell entirely silent.
Then she actually passed with flying colors. I was so overjoyed I stayed awake the entire night. But not long after, her biological parents came looking for her. They said there had been a mix-up at birth, that she was actually from a very wealthy family.
He paused for a moment. The corners of his eyes were slightly red, but the smile remained.
At the time, I thought, she's going to leave me soon. But then Chloe said to me, I'm not going anywhere. As long as I can stay and eat your cooking, I'm happy. I told her she was being silly, that other family has vastly superior resources and can give her so much more. She replied that their resources might be superior, but I was the one who raised her.
Mr. Miller wiped his face and beamed.
So, the teacher asked me to share my experience. I honestly don't know what to say. I just think that being a parent doesn't require any secret formula. If your child is hungry, you cook for them. If they're cold, you give them a coat. If they're sad, you listen. If they're happy, you share it with them. As for academics, I can't help much. I just tell Chloe, just do your absolute best. If you do well, I'll make slow-braised short ribs to celebrate. If you don't do well, I'll still make slow-braised short ribs to cheer you up. No matter what, your dad is always here.
He finished and bowed deeply. The gesture was slightly clumsy, yet so profoundly genuine that one couldn't look away. The classroom sat in stunned silence for a few seconds before thunderous applause erupted. Not polite, societal clapping, but genuine, resounding applause. Some parents nodded fervently. Others discreetly dabbed their eyes. Mrs. Harrington sat in the audience, her expression deeply complex. Mr. Harrington remained silent, his gaze resting on Mr. Miller for a long moment, before shifting to me. Lily Harrington kept her head bowed, her hands gripping the hem of her blazer tight. Melissa Vance's face was pale. Her lips moved, but no words came out. As Mr. Miller stepped down and walked past me, he covertly gave me a wink. My nose stung with unshed tears, and I quickly lowered my head. In my mind, the system's voice rang out, buzzing with excitement.
Ding. Crucial scenario detected. A massive reversal has occurred during the parent-teacher meeting. Original plot. Chloe Sterling is utterly humiliated by her adoptive father's lack of refinement. Current plot. The emotional evaluation algorithms of supporting characters have been heavily triggered. Plot deviation increased by 20%. Current deviation, 55%.
The parent-teacher meeting concluded, and the attendees gradually departed. Mr. and Mrs. Harrington approached. Mrs. Harrington looked at me as if wanting to speak, but ultimately held back. Mr. Harrington remained silent for a moment before speaking.
Chloe, please come home for dinner this weekend, and do invite Mr. Miller to join us.
Before I could even open my mouth, Mr. Miller waved his hands.
No need at all. It's a family reunion for you. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to intrude.
Mr. Harrington said with utmost seriousness.
Not at all. Thomas, listening to your sharing today truly moved me. You have raised Chloe exceptionally well. We owe you a debt of gratitude.
Mr. Miller was taken aback for a second, before offering a gentle smile.
No need for thanks. She's my daughter, after all.
Mrs. Harrington chimed in softly.
Please do come. We'd love to host you for a proper family dinner, to taste our estate's cuisine.
I looked at Mr. Miller. He scratched his head, looking a bit awkwardly at me, then at the Harringtons, before finally nodding.
All right, I'll go. I'll bring some of my signature dishes over from the bistro.
Standing nearby, Lily's smile remained gentle, but her eyes had noticeably chilled. After the Harringtons departed, Melissa sidled over, her tone still laced with defiance.
Mr. Miller, you speak wonderfully, but Chloe scored a mere 15 in physics. Aren't you worried?
Mr. Miller beamed at me.
Worried about what? My girl told me she's trying her best. What she doesn't know today, she'll learn tomorrow. A 15 this month could be a 20 next month. Progress is all that matters.
He patted my shoulder affectionately, his voice booming.
Besides, so what if it's a 15? My daughter is honest. If he doesn't know it, she admits it. No cheating. No pretense. That is far more precious than any grade.
Melissa was rendered completely speechless. The remaining classmates couldn't help but stifle their laughter. Tessa Thompson walked over and shoved a notebook into my hands.
Turn to page 15. Mr. Pendleton told me to give this to you before class. The Advanced Tutoring Syndicate will have a review test next week.
I took it, grinning broadly.
Thank you, academic deity.
Tessa replied simply, then unexpectedly looked at Mr. Miller.
Sir, your slow-braised short ribs were absolutely exquisite.
Mr. Miller's eyes lit up instantly.
Weren't they? Drop by the bistro whenever you're free. I'll make you a massive portion on the house.
Tessa gave a rare chuckle, thanked him, and turned to leave. Mr. Miller watched her go, then turned to me, beaming with pride.
Your seatmate has excellent taste.
I also watched Tessa's retreating figure and laughed.
Indeed, impeccable taste.
On the drive back, Mr. Miller hummed softly behind the wheel. Waiting at a red light, he suddenly spoke.
Chloe, your biological parents, they truly aren't bad people.
I turned to look at him. He kept his eyes on the road, his tone calm.
I could see it today. They genuinely want the best for you. Perhaps they just don't know how to bridge the gap yet.
I know.
He smiled.
It's good that you know. Having 2 more people to love you is a blessing. It makes me happy.
My phone buzzed unexpectedly. An iMessage from Lily Harrington popped up.
Sister, Uncle Thomas's words today moved me deeply. I hope our family can have a wonderful time this weekend. By the way, the Academy is hosting an open house gala next week, and each form must prepare a performance. Our form chose a theatrical play. The arts prefect asked me to see if you'd like to participate. I can ask her to arrange a role for you.
I stared at the screen, my lips curling into a slight smirk. A theatrical play? According to the original plot, this was supposed to be her stage to shine, while I was destined to become the laughingstock. The system's voice chimed perfectly on cue.
Ding. New plotline. Academy theatrical play activated. Original plot. Chloe Sterling is manipulated into participating, forgets her lines due to stage fright, and moves rigidly, becoming a mockery. Lily Harrington earns a standing ovation for her stellar performance. Host, please proceed with caution.
I locked my phone and looked out the window, the evening light painting the sky a soft orange. A play, huh? I narrowed my eyes. Let's see who ends up putting on a show for whom this time. Unsurprisingly, Lily secured the lead role. The play was a reimagining of a classic fairy tale. She played the princess, a pure, flawless archetype. Melissa took on the role of the villainess. It seemed she was perfectly cast, both on stage and in reality. I categorically rejected all acting roles, opting for the stagecraft crew.
I can barely memorize my coursework. Don't let me drag the whole production down.
The arts prefect agreed immediately, but Lily still wouldn't give up on her generous attempts to help me. During recess, she said softly,
Sister, backstage work is so grueling. I could speak to the director and get you a speaking role.
I was grimacing over a physics problem, not even bothering to look up.
No need. I haven't even finished my physics homework. Forcing me to memorize lines would be tantamount to murder.
But, sister...
I looked up at her with utmost sincerity.
You're already so busy juggling the play and your other duties, and yet you still worry about me. I feel terrible. Just focus on playing your princess perfectly and win that trophy for Mother and Father.
Her expression stiffened slightly, her smile turning strained before she quietly walked away. Tessa, sitting beside me, gave a soft scoff.
She just wants you on that stage to make a fool of yourself.
I shrugged.
I know.
Tessa glanced at me, said nothing, and simply slid her physics notebook over. Rehearsals were intense, and Lily was undeniably diligent. Every afternoon after classes, she stayed behind to practice her lines and stage blocking. Melissa trailed after her like a lady-in-waiting, fetching water and showering her with endless praise. Occasionally, when I went to check the prop room, I'd see Lily in front of the mirror, refining every micro-expression. That fragile, melancholic gaze was executed flawlessly. As expected of the original plot's heroine, her theatrical skills were solid. If only she wasn't constantly trying to drag me into her drama, it would be even more perfect. Thursday afternoon was the final dress rehearsal. I was backstage, double-checking the props. Lily approached in her elaborate princess gown, the long train sweeping gently across the floor.
Sister, could you check if the lacing on the back is loose?
She turned her back to me, her voice soft and vulnerable. I cast a cursory glance.
It's not loose. It's tied quite tightly.
But it feels a bit off to me.
As she spoke, she spun around. Her foot accidentally caught on a tangle of cables on the floor. She let out a cry and fell directly toward me. I was crouching, counting wooden prop swords. Reflexively, I instantly dodged to the side. Lily grasped at thin air and crashed heavily into a prop trunk. Her knee slammed hard, and her eyes instantly welled up with red.
Sister, why did you dodge?
Her voice trembled, tears on the verge of spilling over. I stood up, dusted off my hands, and replied with absolute honesty.
Reflex. My dad taught me that if something comes flying at you, you dodge. Basic survival skills.
Lily was left speechless. A few classmates, hearing the commotion, rushed over to help her up. Melissa Vance glared at me.
Chloe Sterling, you did that on purpose, didn't you? If Lily gets injured, what happens to the gala tomorrow?
I raised a hand, casually pointing to the CCTV camera on the ceiling.
Why don't we review the security footage? I had just counted the 7th prop sword. I genuinely didn't see how she managed to fall.
Melissa was instantly rendered speechless. Lily Harrington gently tugged at her sleeve, forcing a frail smile.
It was my own clumsiness, Mel. It has nothing to do with my sister. Sister, could you please fetch me a plaster from over there?
I turned to fetch it. Faintly, I overheard her lowering her voice to whisper to Melissa.
Even if it was intentional, so what? She is the true bloodline of the estate. What could we possibly do?
Her tone was dripping with grievance and forced forbearance. After she limped away, Tessa Thompson, who had appeared beside me at some unknown point, lowered her voice.
Her dress catching on those cables earlier was entirely deliberate. I saw perfectly well how she hooked her toe under them.
I looked at her, slightly surprised.
You saw it that clearly?
Tessa maintained her deadpan expression.
I have 20/20 vision. Besides, I've always found her theatrics a bit overcooked.
I burst out laughing.
Great minds do think alike.
The official open house gala took place on Friday evening. The grand auditorium was packed to the rafters. Mr. Alistair and Mrs. Eleanor Harrington sat in the VIP front row. Mr. Miller had also arrived, still wearing his culinary maestro jacket, standing out vibrantly amidst the sea of haute couture. I stood in the wings backstage, watching Lily Harrington shine under the spotlights. Every line the princess delivered was perfectly modulated with emotion, her crying scene flawlessly natural. In the audience, quite a few girls were already dabbing their eyes. I had to admit her theatrical chops were formidable. It would have been an absolutely perfect performance, if only during the final reunion scene with the prince, she hadn't accidentally stepped on her own train and plummeted off the stage, directly towards my position. In that split second, time seemed to dilate. Lily let out a shriek as her entire body toppled over the edge of the stage. Directly below her was the overflow prop area. Wooden swords, wrought iron set decorations, and an unopened crate of sparkling water I had just hauled over. If she actually landed there, she would suffer severe lacerations at the very least, not to mention the risk of knocking over heavy equipment onto others. But the exact millisecond she stepped on her gown, I snatched up a heavy-duty foam crash mat nearby. A fraction of a second before she hit the floor, I slid the mat with pinpoint precision right into her drop zone. Thud! A heavy, muffled sound echoed. Lily Harrington crashed onto the mat, entirely uninjured. Her perfectly coiffed hair was in disarray, and her expression was one of utter bewilderment. The grand auditorium fell into a stunned silence for a heartbeat before erupting into chaos.
What happened?
Huh? Did she fall?
Is anyone hurt?
The house lights flared on as faculty members rushed toward the stage. Mr. and Mrs. Harrington, their faces ashen, hurried over. Mr. Miller also pushed his way to the front. Lily was helped up, her eyes brimming with tears.
I carelessly stepped on my gown.
The theatrical director was sweating bullets, frantically checking for injuries. The Academy's resident physician rushed over, conducted a swift examination, and breathed a sigh of relief.
She's perfectly fine. Just a mild shock, no physical trauma.
Only then did the Harringtons exhale. Mrs. Harrington embraced Lily, murmuring soft comforts. Right at that moment, Melissa Vance suddenly pointed a trembling finger directly at me and shrieked,
"It was you, Chloe Sterling! I saw it! You pushed Lily!"
The gaze of the entire auditorium instantly pivoted toward me. I was bending over to straighten the crash mat. Hearing this, I stood up, silently marveling at the sheer deficit of her IQ.
I pushed her? I was at least 3 meters away. How exactly did I push her? With telekinesis?
Melissa's eyes were bloodshot.
"It was you! You're jealous because Lily is the leading lady. So you deliberately tried to harm her. You pushed her backstage earlier today, too!"
Lily Harrington shed a tear with immaculate comedic timing, her voice trembling.
Mel, please say no more. I'm sure my sister didn't mean to do it.
Murmurs began rippling through the audience.
Did she really push her? I heard there's bad blood between them. She allegedly shoved Lily in the prop room earlier today. But the physics of that don't make sense.
I let out a soft sigh, walked over to the AV control desk, and spoke to the student technician.
Could you please rewind the stage wing camera feed from a moment ago? The wide-angle shot should make everything perfectly clear.
The technician hesitated, glancing toward the faculty. Ms. Julianne Gregson's expression darkened, but she spoke decisively.
Put it on the screen.
The giant LED backdrop immediately played the security feed. The high-definition image was irrefutable. After delivering her final line, Lily Harrington's footsteps paused. The projection clearly showed her lifting her own heel and deliberately planting it firmly onto the flowing train of her gown. Instantly, her body lost balance and toppled toward the edge. Mid-fall, she even adjusted her arm posture, bracing for impact exactly as one would if it were premeditated. As for me, in that exact split second, I had grabbed the foam mat. With a single fluid stride, I hurled it precisely into the drop zone. My movements were seamless and decisive. As the video played in slow motion, everyone could clearly see that a fraction of a second before hitting the ground, the corners of Lily's lips had curled into a faint, triumphant smirk. It wasn't until she actually impacted the unexpectedly soft mat that the smirk morphed into genuine shock. Lily Harrington's face drained of all color, turning a sickly white. Mr. and Mrs. Harrington stared at the projection, then back at her, their eyes swimming with disbelief and profound disappointment. Melissa Vance's jaw dropped. She was entirely bereft of speech. I strolled to the center of the stage, casually picked up a dropped microphone, and cleared my throat. My voice echoed calmly through the silent hall.
Esteemed faculty and fellow students, my sincerest apologies for the unforeseen intermission. Fortunately, Miss Lily Harrington was unharmed.
I glanced up at the giant screen, where the video was paused on Lily stepping on her own dress, and continued with the utmost sincerity.
Perhaps the Dior princess gown was simply a tad too long, or perhaps the stage floor was excessively polished. Regardless, a word of advice for the next person to play the princess. A prince is entirely optional, but do not, under any circumstances, forget your anti-slip footwear.
The entire auditorium fell silent for a few seconds before erupting into laughter. Lily Harrington trembled, genuine tears finally spilling over. Mr. Harrington took a deep breath, stepped up to Ms. Gregson, and said,
"My apologies for the disturbance, Ms. Gregson. We will be taking Lily home early."
The look he gave his daughter held not a shred of leniency, only profound disappointment. Mrs. Harrington seemed to want to say something, but ultimately just sighed, supporting Lily as they left the stage. Melissa Vance tried to speak up, but was quickly pulled back by a boy next to her. Mr. Miller walked over and gently patted my shoulder. He didn't say a word, but his eyes conveyed a clear message.
"Well done."
I grinned at him.
Of course, I deliberately stood right in the camera's line of sight, just waiting for her to frame me.
In my mind, the system's voice rang out as festive as popping champagne.
Ding. Crucial climax reversal detected. Plot deviation increased by 25%. Current deviation, 90%.
But the curtain hadn't fully fallen yet. Saturday morning, I was burying myself in my physics textbook when my phone buzzed.
Check the form group chat.
I opened the chat app. The unread messages had already surpassed 900. I scrolled to the very top. The catalyst was a long, stitched screenshot sent by an anonymous account. I tapped on it. It was a series of chat history screenshots. The sender's profile picture was blurred, but the recipient was clearly Melissa Vance. The content sent a chill down one's spine.
"Mel, during class tomorrow, just say Chloe cheated. Don't worry, her physics is atrocious. The faculty will naturally suspect her. I've hidden my speech script. Just steer everyone into thinking she stole it. With her writing level, no one will believe she wrote hers herself. At the parent-teacher meeting, find an opportunity to make snide remarks about her dad's unrefined attire to humiliate her. During the play rehearsal, I'll pretend to fall, and you insist she pushed me.
The final message was timestamped yesterday afternoon, 2 hours before the gala.
Tonight, during the final scene, by the edge of the stage, I'll fake a fall. She's the closest one. You must immediately point the finger at Chloe and claim she's jealous of me. We have to get her expelled this time.
In the series of screenshots, the majority of Melissa's replies were a simple
Understood!
The forum group chat completely exploded.
Unbelievable. Is this actually Lily Harrington? Thinking back on it gives me the creeps. So everything that happened was orchestrated by her? Melissa was just her accomplice. No wonder Chloe Sterling was so unfazed every single time. She saw right through it from the start. She always looked so sweet and innocent, who would have thought?
In the chat, Lily Harrington began spamming messages.
It's all fake! Photoshopped! Someone is deliberately trying to frame me.
But before she could turn the tide, an audio recording was uploaded. Opening it revealed Melissa Vanson's choked up voice.
I admit, those chats are real. Lily Harrington told me to do it. She said Chloe returning would steal everything she had, so we had to drive her out. I originally thought she was my friend, so I helped her. But clearly, I was just following her orders, and every time, she acted like I just misunderstood her intentions. My parents interrogated me, and I finally told the truth. They said I was an absolute fool, being used by someone else.
After the recording, more people started speaking up.
Honestly, I was suspicious from the start. The cheating scandal was absurd. How do you cheat and get a 15? Same with the speech script. Chloe's prose is completely different. There's no way they'd match. At the parent-teacher meeting, her dad spoke with such genuine warmth. I felt Melissa crossed the line back then. I rewatched the footage yesterday too. Lily's fall looked so incredibly forced. Looking back, every time something happened, Chloe remained entirely stoic, as if anticipating her opponent's every move. It literally gives me goosebumps.
The head prefect finally interjected.
Melissa Vance, Lily Harrington, resolve this privately. Do not continue causing a scene in the forum group. Spreading false information and slandering are severe disciplinary offenses. I will be reporting this to the faculty.
Lily Harrington didn't say another word, but her profile picture quietly vanished from the group. When classes resumed on Monday, she took a leave of absence. Melissa Vance, her eyes red and swollen, sought me out the moment she entered the classroom, bowing deeply in front of everyone.
Chloe, I am so sorry. Everything that happened before was orchestrated by Lily. I was wrong, and I hope you can forgive me.
I waved it off.
Enough. Just stay out of these petty dramas from now on. Focus on your exams.
She nodded, eyes still red, and quietly returned to her seat, keeping her head down for the rest of the day. During recess, Lily Harrington's desk remained entirely empty. The girls who used to swarm around Lily now clustered together, whispering, occasionally casting complex glances toward the empty seat. Tessa Thompson slid a physics paper over to me.
You got this one wrong again.
I stared at the red crosses and sighed.
This paper definitely has a personal vendetta against me.
She snatched the pen from me and began sketching a diagram.
It's not a vendetta. You simply haven't grasped the vector force analysis.
I rested my chin on my hand, watching her, and suddenly asked,
Those anonymous screenshots. You sent them, didn't you?
Tessa's pen paused. She didn't deny it.
She crossed the line.
I spoke with profound sincerity.
Tessa, thank you.
She resumed sketching.
Don't mention it. I just loathe people who treat everyone else like fools.
Right then, the physics professor, Mr. Pendleton, walked into the classroom and tapped the blackboard regarding last week's test.
Only 3 students answered the final question correctly. However, while Miss Chloe Sterling's final result was inaccurate, her logic was perfectly clear and the steps were thorough. That deserves commendation.
I was stunned, and the rest of the class looked equally surprised. He pushed up his glasses.
What are you all staring at? Studying earnestly and correcting one's mistakes is commendable. Miss Sterling has shown remarkable progress recently. Keep up the good work.
I looked down at my test paper. Next to that glaring red 15, there was a small +5, accompanied by a note.
Clear logic. Deserves encouragement.
Suddenly, my nose stung as I recalled Mr. Miller's words.
My daughter is honest.
The dismissal bell rang. Ms. Gregson called me to the faculty office and handed me an envelope.
Lily Harrington has transferred to another academy. This is what she left for you.
I opened it. Inside was a piece of parchment with neat handwriting. I am sorry. It was unsigned. I stared at the paper for a few seconds, folded it back into the envelope, and handed it back to Ms. Gregson.
Please dispose of this for me.
She looked at me for a moment, then nodded.
Perhaps that's for the best.
I stepped outside. The sunlight streaming through the corridor was dazzlingly bright. My phone vibrated. It was a voice message from Mr. Miller, his voice booming with vitality.
Chloe, the bistro got some magnificent sea bass today. I'm making a pan-seared sea bass broth for you. Come home early.
I chuckled and typed back.
Yes, chef.
In my mind, the system's voice chimed one final time, sounding almost jubilant.
Ding. The primary antagonist, Lily Harrington, has exited the storyline. All schemes exposed, character image completely obliterated. The original plotline has reached an early conclusion. Plot deviation 100%. Congratulations, host. You have successfully shattered the script. A new destiny has been unlocked.
After classes, Mr. Harrington's chauffeur-driven car was already waiting at the gates. He rolled down the window, looking a bit fatigued but with softened eyes.
Chloe, come home for dinner this weekend. Your mother is preparing all your favorite dishes.
I paused, then nodded.
Yes, I will bring my dad along.
Mr. Harrington laughed.
Of course. Your mother is quite eager to learn Thomas's slow-braised short ribs recipe.
I got into the car, watching the bustling streets pass by the window. My phone lit up with a text from Tessa Thompson.
Starting tomorrow, 1 hour of advanced tutoring every day after class. Room 305. Do not be tardy, otherwise you'll still be relegated to a standard form by the end of the term.
I smiled and typed a reply.
Understood, Professor Tessa.
That weekend, the car rolled slowly into the courtyard of the Harrington estate. Mrs. Harrington was standing by the door, tying an apron, a ladle in her hand, looking slightly flustered. Seeing me step out of the car, her eyes reddened slightly, but she quickly suppressed it and forced a smile.
You're back. The soup is almost ready. Has Thomas arrived yet?
He's on his way.
She nodded and turned toward the kitchen. After taking 2 steps, she stopped, turned back to look at me, and spoke very softly.
Chloe, about everything before. I am so sorry.
I stood quietly under the sunlight and replied softly.
Mother, the soup is going to burn.
She let out a startled and hurried into the kitchen. I looked up at the second floor. The room that once belonged to Lily Harrington had its windows shut tight and curtains drawn, yet light still seeped through the crevices. Just like paths taken in error. You can always turn back. I took a deep breath and stepped inside. The aroma of slow-braised short ribs wafted from the kitchen, mingling with the comforting scent of fish broth, warming the soul. A familiar voice echoed from behind.
Chloe, your old man is here. Is the pan-seared sea bass broth ready? I told him that dish absolutely needs tofu to be perfect.
I turned around. Mr. Miller was carrying several bags of ingredients, his smile genial, his eyes bright. Mr. Harrington stepped forward to take the bags from him. The 2 men exchanged a look and immediately started chatting away. Mrs. Harrington peeked out from the kitchen, a smudge of flour on her cheek, unable to hide her joy. That dinner was warmer than I ever could have imagined. Mr. Harrington occasionally served me food. Mrs. Harrington asked about everything under the sun, and Mr. Miller drank until he was cheerfully intoxicated. During my final year at the academy, I received a letter from Lily Harrington.
Sister, I had a very long dream. In that dream, I constantly used tears and fragility to unconsciously compel others to protect me, causing you to lose control and making everyone gradually despise you. But the funny thing is, I hated myself in that dream. I was terrified of your return. I was terrified you would steal everything. I was terrified of losing Mother and Father. That's why I did so many terrible things. Looking back now, what I was truly terrified of was simply not having anything that belonged solely to me.
The final line was slightly trembling.
Sister, I am sorry.
I stared at the letter for a long time, then wrote a single sentence and asked someone to pass it along.
What is truly yours will never disappear because of someone else.
Lily Harrington transferring and moving out happened between our penultimate and final years. She eventually returned to the Harrington estate, but without the obsession of needing to be the center of the universe. She simply lived her own quiet life. And Tessa Thompson still sat right beside me. Every time I made a mistake on an equation, I only needed to act a little pathetic, and she would helplessly explain it to me from the beginning. The system hadn't appeared for a very long time. I knew what that meant. I finally had a life that truly belonged to Chloe Sterling.